September 1st, 1939. Berlin, Germany. 6:02 a.m. Rain clings to the stone streets outside Wilhelmstrasse as radios across the capital click on in unison. Inside a modest apartment, factory worker Karl Weiss, age 34, stands in his undershirt, steam rising from a chipped enamel mug. The radio announcer's voice is calm, rehearsed, unwavering. Since 5:45 this morning, German troops have been returning Polish fire. Karl freezes. Outside, somewhere down the street, boots march in rhythm. Flags unfurl from balconies. The words on the radio do not sound like an invasion. They sound like an explanation, a justification. By the time Karl pulls on his coat, the idea has already taken root. Germany is defending itself. This is how the war begins, not with gunfire in Berlin, but with a sentence. By noon, posters bloom across the city like fresh paint on old walls. A German soldier, tall and resolute, stares into the distance. Bold letters declare unity, duty, destiny. In a government office nearby, Joseph Goebbels, Reich Minister of Propaganda, leans over a desk cluttered with drafts. He taps a pencil, once, twice. Every word has weight. Too much fear, and morale breaks. Too little, and people ask questions. His orders move fast. Radio scripts, newspaper headlines, cinema reels. The message must be everywhere before doubt can breathe. Far east, near the Polish border, Lieutenant Franz Adler leads his platoon through wet fields at dawn. His men carry Mauser rifles, bayonets fixed, boots sinking into mud. In their packs are leaflets printed hours earlier, promises of order, of liberation. Franz doesn't read them aloud, he just hands them out. The paper flutters into villages ahead of the soldiers, arriving before bullets, shaping what the people will believe about the men who follow. By 1940, the soundscape of Europe is filled with voices, speeches crackling over radios, newsreels roaring in dark cinemas. In London, September 7, 1940, as Luftwaffe bombers drone overhead, Mrs. Eleanor Hughes tightens her grip on her daughter's hand in an underground station. Dust shakes loose from the ceiling. Somewhere above, buildings burn. A BBC broadcast echoes faintly through a portable radio, calm, steady, unbroken. The announcer does not panic. Neither should they. Posters line the tunnels. Keep calm and carry on. Simple words, no images of death, just resolve. Eleanor reads them again and again. Fear doesn't disappear, but it becomes manageable, purposeful. Across the Atlantic, the United States watches from a distance until December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Smoke coils into the Hawaiian sky. Oil burns on the water. Seaman First Class James Miller crouches behind twisted metal as sirens wail. Days later, his face appears in a newsreel back home. Not his name, not his fear, just the image of an American sailor under attack. The narrator's voice hardens. This was not a distant war anymore. This was personal. Hollywood shifts gears overnight. Directors, writers, actors report to government offices. Films roll out showing clear heroes and clear villains. The enemy is ruthless, faceless, dangerous, but always beatable.
In factories, posters show smiling workers, sleeves rolled up, muscles straining. We can do it. Women step into roles once closed to them, their labor framed as patriotism. Sacrifice becomes honor, rationing becomes contribution. On the Eastern Front, winter 1942, Stalingrad, propaganda grows darker. German leaflets promise relief that never comes. Soviet broadcasts thunder defiance through loudspeakers aimed at enemy trenches. Private Ivan Petrov, Red Army, listens with frost-bitten fingers wrapped around his rifle. The voice tells him the motherland is watching, that history depends on him. He believes it because he has to. Belief keeps him standing when his legs want to collapse. By 1944, the messages shift again. In occupied France, Allied leaflets rain down before the bombs. They warn civilians, they promise liberation. On June 6th, Normandy, as landing craft slam into waves, soldiers carry not just rifles and grenades, but years of stories about who they are and why they're here. Those stories steady their hands as ramps drop and gunfire erupts. When the war ends, the propaganda does not. Victory parades, memorial films, carefully chosen photographs, all shape how the conflict is remembered. Heroes are polished, atrocities are framed, explained, sometimes buried. The ideas that fueled the war now define its legacy. Because World War II was not only fought on beaches and battlefields, it was fought on walls, on screens, over airwaves. And long after the guns fell silent, those ideas kept marching.